What if I told you that the life you're living today is not as a result of luck, not as a result of fate, and not even as a result of your circumstances? What if the quality of your life is largely determined by something much closer, something you can control, your willingness to change? Jim Rohn once said, "Your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change." And the more I studied philosophy, spirituality, psychology, and even modern physics, the more I realized how profound these words truly are. Today, I want to share a lesson that completely transformed the way I look at growth, success, consciousness, and reality itself. This is not just another motivational quote. It is a law, a principle, a pattern hidden in nature, in human history, and in our own minds. And by the end of this episode, you will understand how to awaken the unconscious pattern silently directing your life and how to become the conscious architect of your future. Let's begin. There was a period in my life when I believed that if I simply wanted long enough, things would improve. I thought opportunity would arrive. I thought motivation would magically appear. I thought circumstances would eventually become favorable. But something strange happened. Nothing changed. Weeks passed, months passed, even years passed. And despite my hopes, the results remained almost identical. Then one day I encountered a powerful realization. The universe rewards movement, not waiting. Growth is not automatic. Growth is intentional. A seed becomes a tree because it transforms. Water becomes a stream because it transforms. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly because it transforms. Nature itself teaches us that evolution requires change. Why should human life be any different? Think about that for a moment. Everything in existence grows through transformation. Yet many of us secretly expect our lives to improve while remaining exactly the same. This idea appears repeatedly through philosophy. The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus famously observed that no person steps into the same river twice. Why? Because the river changes and the person changes. Life itself is movement. Life itself is change. Trying to resist change is like trying to stop the flow of a river using your bare hands. The river always wins. The truly wise person doesn't fear change. They learn to flow with it. Now let's go deeper. One of the greatest obstacles to change is something most people never notice: the unconscious mind, the hidden operating system running beneath awareness. According to pioneering psychologist Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Think about that. Many people say, "This is just who I am. I've always been unlucky. I never finish what I start. I can never get ahead." But often, these are not truths. They are unconscious programs, mental scripts repeated so often that they feel permanent. Imagine driving a car with the steering wheel locked slightly to the left. No matter how hard you try to go forward, you will keep drifting off course. That's what unconscious beliefs do. They silently steer our lives. Let me give you a real world example. Imagine two people lose their jobs. The first person says, "My life is over." The second person says, "This is painful, but maybe it's an opportunity." Same event, different interpretation, different unconscious programming, different future. Within a year, their lives may look completely different. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because one person's mindset changed the direction of the action, and action changed reality. Many spiritual tradition teaches that transformation begins within. The outer world often reflects the inner world. When fear dominates consciousness, fearful choices emerge. When abundance dominates consciousness, creative choices emerge. This does not mean positive thinking magically solved everything. Life remains challenging, but your internal state dramatically influences how you respond to these challenges. And response determines destiny. Now let's connect this with physics. This is fascinating. Modern science shows us that the universe itself is dynamic. Atoms vibrate, energy moves, stars are born and die, galaxies evolve, nothing remains fixed forever. The entire cosmos is a dance of transformation. When we resist personal growth, we are resisting the very principle woven into reality itself. The universe changes, nature changes, civilizations change, technology changes, and human consciousness must change too. So how do we awaken the unconscious and create meaningful transformation? Let's make this practical. Step 1. Become an observer. For 1 week, simply observe your thoughts. No judgment, no criticism, just awareness. Whenever you hear yourself saying, I cannot, it never works, I'm not good enough, write them down. Those thoughts are clues. They reveal hidden programs operating beneath the surface. Awareness is the first doorway to freedom. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Number 2, question every limiting belief. Ask yourself, is this absolutely true, or is this a story I've repeated for years? Many beliefs collapse under honest examination. What once felt like a permanent truth often turns out to be a temporary assumption. Number 3, create tiny changes. Most people fail because they attempt massive transformation overnight. Instead, start small. Read 10 pages daily, work for 15 minutes, meditate for 5 minutes, save a small amount consistently. Tiny changes create powerful momentum. Remember, great mountains are built one stone at a time. Number 4, change your environment. The people around you influence your thinking more than you realize. If everyone around you complains, complaining becomes normal. If everyone around you grows, growth becomes normal. Environment quietly shapes identity. Choose wisely. And number 5, visualize your future self. Close your eyes. Imagine the version of yourself who has already grown. How would they speak? How would they think? How would they handle challenges? How would they treat others? Now begin acting like that person today. Not someday, today. Because identity changes before circumstances do. One of my favorite stories involves a sculptor. Someone asked him how he created such beautiful statues, and he replied, I simply remove everything that doesn't belong. That's personal growth. You don't necessarily need to become someone new. You simply remove fear, remove limiting beliefs, remove self-doubt, remove unconscious patterns, and what remains is the person you are always capable of becoming. The older I get, the more I realize that life is not asking us to be perfect. Life is asking us to evolve, to learn, to adapt, to become more conscious. Every challenge becomes a teacher, every setbacks become information, every mistake becomes wisdom, if you are willing to change. So today, I want to leave you with a question. If your life remains exactly the same for the next 5 years, what habits, beliefs, and unconscious patterns would be responsible? Now ask yourself something even more powerful. What one change could completely alter the direction of your future? Because transformation rarely begins with a giant leap. It begins with one conscious decision, one new thought, one new courageous action, and one commitment to grow. Jim Rohn was right. Your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. And that change begins the moment you decide to awaken. If this episode inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Leave a comment below and tell me, what is one change you're committing to make starting today? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our journey into philosophy, spirituality, consciousness, psychology, and the mysteries of reality. And if you'd like to support this channel and help us continue creating transformative content that inspires mind around the world, please consider supporting the channel through the links provided in the description. Your support helps us reach more people, create better content, and continue exploring the deepest questions of life together. Until next time, stay curious, stay conscious, and remember, the future is not something that happens to you. It is something that you help create. See you in the next episode.